ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
One of the great names in Seahawk history, Cortez Kennedy. 11 seasons, 8 Pro Bowls, 6 in a row, and was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Kennedy, one of the 25 semifinalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. One of the great names in Seahawks history, Cortez Kennedy. And he's back in Seattle tonight, and he has what I think is one of the top 5 coolest traditions in the NFL. Raise the 12th man flag in honor of the fans here in Seattle. That flag hits the top of the pole atop the 300 level in the south end zone of CenturyLink Field. And that starts every home Seahawks game. Been that way since '03. Jason Terry, NBA champion, King Felix Hernandez, and the great champion of champions, Bill Russell, got the chance to do that this year and add Cortez to the list. Toss won by the Seahawks. They will receive Leon Washington back for the kickoff from St. Louis's Josh Brown, a former Seahawk. Off we go from the great Northwest. And at 2 is Washington. Reverse right away. Pitched it to Doug Baldwin. A lot of room for Baldwin. Kicker chases him as Baldwin stays in bounds until he's knocked out at the 44.
What a great way to start the game. Little trickery in a kicking game, and Atari Bigby, the former Green Bay Packer, number 27 on the left side of your screen, throws the key block. There it is. Wow. 2 beautiful, vicious hits. Set Seattle up with great field position.
Credit the kicker, Josh Brown. We've seen some kickers make lame attempts at forcing a guy wide. Josh Brown hustled out there to force Baldwin to the sideline. Tavares Jackson, good field position. It starts at the 43. And a first carry from Marshawn Lynch. Got a block, got a first down to the 45 of the Rams. Talk about a hot runner. Last 5 games, Marshawn Lynch, over 104 of them.
Nice job by the offensive line of the Seahawks, getting a man on a man and just sticking and staying, creating that seam for Marshawn Lynch. He has been hot as of late, and he starts out hot.
Hand it to him again. I would be shocked if they don't repeatedly bang this big back at this Ram defense.
You see, no one has run it more in a 5-game stretch this year in the NFL than the last 5 for Lynch. Jackson will roll it. Tavares' first pass wide open and dropped in and out of the hands of the tight end Cameron Mora. He had a lot of real estate too. So Tavares Jackson, I think you know his story, from Montgomery, Alabama, went to Alabama State, was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, ended up starting, then getting pulled for a veteran, then back in there, and then Brett Favre showed up. And then Brett Favre showed up again. And Jackson was the caddy for Brett Favre the last couple of years. He came over this year to Seattle. 31st start of his career, his record 15-15 as a pro. Run of about 4 for Lynch to the 40-yard line. So Marshawn Lynch will be featured, as we talked about. Wide receiver Mike Williams, good year last year, underperforming this year. Sidney Rice is on injured reserve, so Golden Tate his chance to step up. Here's where they're hurt. They've lost 4 starters in the last 3 weeks in that offensive front. And Ladue Jean-Pierre and Reno Giacomini, inexperienced to say the least. Second start for Jean-Pierre tonight, 5th for the former Packer Giacomini. It's 3rd down, Justin Forsett the back. Out of the backfield for Forsett, and behind him, as Laurinaitis had coverage. So the trick, the first down, but nothing else for Seattle.
Well, he did a nice job with the play calling. That's critical in the situation. Anticipate the man coverage. They got the man coverage, but a poor throw by Tavares Jackson. And remember, he's been fighting through that torn pec muscle. You know, he's a tough guy, but you got to sometimes loosen that thing up. And, well, that was just a poor throw right there.
You see John Ryan, who's very good at not just pinning him inside the 20, but equaling the best in the league inside the 10. there, caught on the fly by Doug Baldwin at the 5. To the top of the list of kicking them inside the 10. So a guy's got two of the greatest titles you could have in football. #1 overall pick and the Heisman Trophy winner. Sam Bradford is both of those on his resume. He also has a 1-8 record this year as he takes over for St. Louis.
Better lean on Steven Jackson tonight. Got to take care of the ball against this opportunistic Seattle defense. Going to have to make some big plays against this bump and run pass defense.
First drive from the 6. First throw is incomplete. There you see the coverage on Brandon Lloyd. An incomplete. Richard Sherman watching him, and Jaws, we were watching Sam pregame.
He just didn't look sharp to me. You know, he's missed 3 games, that ankle injury, and you see the weight transfer, just very difficult time. This is pregame, and he just didn't look like the ball was coming out of his hand, the weight transfer, and we saw the first play. The first play of the game, he tried to get the ball down the field, and it was underthrown. I mean, I love the fact that Sam is sucking it up tonight, going out there playing, but I'm not sure he's well enough to help this football team.
Second and 10, Steven Jackson. Boy, 2 violent runners here tonight. An 11-yard first down for Jackson.
Well, Steven told us, I like that inside zone. Everybody's going to come off with outside footwork. It's zone blocking, and Steven Jackson presses it. You see a little wham there from number 88, Lance Kendricks, from the right side of your screen. Well blocked play, big first down, backed up.
Boy, they need Steven Jackson tonight.
He's on his pace for another 1,000-yard rushing season. Needs 157 more over these last 4 games. With a flag down, flea flicker, Bradford gets nailed as his pass to Denario Alexander is incomplete. K.J. Wright, the rookie, and Alan Branch nailed him. The flag thrown at the line of scrimmage, not on the hit. And the referee is Bill Levy.
Alan Branch at 6'6", 325 pounds.
St. Louis. Lined up illegally, shifted to legal. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
You'll see it right here, a little flea flicker action, and look at Branch. Wow, and his head smashed to the ground. Boy, those are the ones that really hurt on this artificial surface. You'll see K.J. Wright and Alan Branch both getting to Bradford simultaneously.
And this makeshift offensive line of the St. Louis Rams continues to get Sam Bradford hit hard.
Jarius Norwood the back. False start. Credit the noise.
Oh, it's going to get really loud.
False start. Number 64 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's the center, Tony Raggi. And we'll just let you listen to the 12th man here on 1st and 20.
Well, the Rams will be going to their silent count in these situations, and that really gives the defense a chance to get off on the football. Watch Chris Clemens. He is really quick off the ball.
Bradford out of his own end zone. A quieter than Lance Kendricks, the rookie tight end. First down, out to the 33-yard line. 26 yards on the game.
Nice call by Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator of the Rams. That's that oh shuck screen. You're going to see Kendricks, number 88, just disappear on this bootleg, and all the way against the grain goes Kendricks. Excellent job against an aggressive Seahawk defense. Sam looked pretty good right there with that delivery.
On 1st and 10, Steven Jackson. Toward the 37, K.J. Wright the tackle, gain of 4. So Jackson will be spelled by Cadillac Williams and Jarius Norwood tonight. You see Brandon Lloyd, who came over via trade from Denver, and Denario Alexander, who is once again healthy. Injuries up front here, 3 starters, including both tackles on injured reserve. So this is the 6th different offensive line combination in the last 8 weeks. Only the center, Tony Raggi, has started the last 5 games for St. Louis. And they don't score much on top of all that. Bradford sets up the screen, and Jackson's erased. You're going to see a lot of K.J. Wright, 4th-round pick out of Mississippi State.
Well, it's a screenplay. And K.J. Wright, number 50, at outside linebackers playing man coverage on Steven Jackson, and he sees it all the way as Jackson slides across the formation. You remember Aaron Curry, the 3rd pick in the draft of the Seahawks. The reason Curry's in Oakland now is because of the emergence of this young man, K.J. Wright. He's just a rookie, and he's playing outstanding for this Seahawk defense.
Norwood the back on 3rd and 9 draw. Jarius Norwood ran into one of his blockers and allowed Alan Branch to clean it up. So the Rams get a 1st down and then are forced to punt.
Well, that was out of respect of the Seattle Seahawks defense. Right. I think Cortez Kennedy coming in here riling up this crowd. 3rd and 9, kind of a give-up play by the Ram offense. And Donnie Jones, one of the premier punters in pro football, hopefully gives the Rams a good punt here.
Doug Baldwin creeping in off the edge forces the Gunners to come in as they show a punt block. Baldwin came off the edge and he got the ball. Took it right off of Jones' foot. Bouncing around to Michael Robinson. Seattle touchdown.
What a great job by the Seattle Seahawks coaching staff. Pete Carroll saw something on film. He went with an all-out block. You're going to see Baldwin come creeping in off your left side, and he is totally unaccounted for, and he rejects this punt by Donnie Jones.
He caught it.
And it's an excellent scoop and score by Michael Robinson. How about this Baldwin, an undrafted rookie, free agent out of Stanford. He leads this team in receiving, and now he blocks a punt. We're getting our money's worth out of this young man.
Yeah, 28 wide receivers drafted before he was a free agent. He's leading this Seahawk team. Boy, what a play that was.
Donnie Jones, who was a Seahawk, had a punt block when he was a Seahawk, a punt block when he was with Miami. First one blocked as a Ram. Baldwin blocked it. Robinson scored it. 7-0 for the home guys.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Toyota, Walmart, more Christmas for your money guaranteed. Save money, live better. Walmart. And NFL Magazine. Sign up for the new monthly magazine of the NFL at NFL.com/magazine today.
Back in this beautiful city of Seattle. It's clear. It's in the 30s. For those who say it always rains here, we haven't seen but a drop of rain the last 3 days. It's been a very dry start to December. The special team score was needed by St. Louis tonight. They're the team that is offensively challenged. And Seattle got it instead. That's Chris Smith. He's the guy who did not block Baldwin off the edge, and it led to the kick block. Here's Jarius Norwood now. And Norwood into space across the 30. And the kicker, Hauska, has to bring him down at the 42-yard line. Special teams giving us 3 wow plays already here tonight. Good field position for the Rams in a 7-point hole here. Their second drive. Bradford toss. Right into K.J. Wright's hand. Should have had his first NFL interception. Let's go back to the block punt.
Well, you're going to see Doug Baldwin, who's going to come in here as a creeper and blitz. And the gunner down here, Chris Smith, in his first NFL game, doesn't know what to do. So you're going to see Smith adjust his split. But clearly, Chris Smith, number 36, who just got here because of all the injuries, doesn't know what to do. There's major confusion. Excellent coaching by the Seattle Seahawks, taking advantage of a young, depleted Ram roster.
And that's Brian Schneider, their special teams coordinator, an excellent job.
Jackson with a gain of just a couple of yards. Steve Spagnuolo is the head coach of the St. Louis Rams. He told us last night that about a third of his 46-man roster for the game tonight never came to training camp with him. So let alone guys who you were just getting to know because of the lockout. These guys weren't even there in August and early September.
And the impact will be felt on special teams.
Anytime the incompletion of the 2-yard gain puts him in 3rd and long. Time against the 4-man rush through the hands of Austin Pettis. And incomplete. Remember, Bradford has not practiced in the last 2 weeks except for a little bit on Saturday.
And it's obvious, Mike, he is not very sharp right now. You'll see right here from behind Sam Bradford. Good pass protection as ball comes out. Just a hair high, but you got to come up with that catch. You're not going to get too many opportunities. And if you're Austin Pettis, get your hands on the ball. You got to grab it.
This time Baldwin's not out there as the gunner on the near side. He's just lined up tight as Donnie Jones doesn't get pressured. And Leon Washington with the fair catch at the 16-yard line. Drive 2 for Seattle. Their special teams has scored. And with the lead, it means turn it over to beast mode. Marshawn Lynch, he's on the field when you come back. Final game, week 14 of the 2011 season. The Seahawks started week 13 with a Thursday night victory over Philadelphia. Defense intercepted Vince Young 4 times. And the Seahawks moved to 5-7 with a 31-14 win. Up 7-0 here, Tavares Jackson comes back to his second option and a 4-yard gain to Marshawn Lynch. Let's introduce you to the St. Louis defense. They're the worst in the league against the run. Best player, Chris Long. Howie's son making a name for himself with a dozen sacks. And the leading tackler, the quarterback of the defense, James Laurinaitis. In the secondary, see Josh Gordy and Justin King. Sign them up for Survivor next year. Rams have put 10 corners on injured reserve this year. Lynch to the right. All strung out as Chris Chamberlain's made back-to-back tackles. Gary Gibson also on the stop there. Well, missing for Seattle here and for the rest of the season, Russell Okung, 6th overall pick, very good tackle. Injured last week against Philadelphia. Violent injury. Trent Cole, who was fined only $7,500 for this takedown that tore his pectoral muscle on Okung, and Okung now out for the season.
Yeah, $7,500 fine to Trent Cole, but you lose your starting left tackle for the rest of the season. That's a little bit inequitable to me.
And Pete Carroll pointed that out this week.
False start, number 15, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's on the receiver, Baldwin.
These penalties are killing the Seahawks. They've committed over 9 penalties a game. I think they're right behind the Oakland Raiders as the most penalized team in pro football. And when you have a 3rd and 6 and you make it 3rd and 11 with a false start on a wide receiver, not good. Pete Carroll very unhappy with that.
Raiders have worked that up now to 10 penalties a game after their performance in Green Bay yesterday. 3rd and 11. Nobody open downfield. Golden Tate comes back for a rainbow and caught it. They lost all idea of where he was on the corner. And Tate, former Golden Domer's, got a 22-yard gain for a 1st down.
Well, Mike, you talked about those 10 cornerbacks on injured reserve. This is the impact that it has. You've got guys now that aren't used to be playing as many snaps. Here you look at Justin King, just lose the side of the football, can't come back and make the play. And here's Chris Long. You're not going to go one-on-one with him. You're going to get someone in his face, Zach Miller, to chip and help Giacomini so he's not holding him one-on-one.
Jackson changes the play, rolls it. Looking downfield, shot for Golden Tate. Can't get to it. Jackson obviously not feeling the effects of that torn pectoral muscle anymore.
That's one thing I like about Tavares Jackson, what he's done here in Seattle with Darrell Bevell. He's audibled more than he ever has before. He sees a single safety. You heard him audible, and he wants to take some shots against one-on-one coverage. That time you have to credit the St. Louis Rams for smelling that out. Veteran safety Quentin Michael can still get it done.
Second and 10, Lynch a toss to the left. Michael Robinson, a good block, allows Lynch to get 4 yards. John just mentioned it a play ago. Darrell Bevell, he's the offensive coordinator. First year here in Seattle. He was in Minnesota with Tavares Jackson. So Tavares comes in with his offensive coordinator. Very rare when you get a quarterback from another team.
I think it really benefited the Seahawks given this lockout season. Tavares came in here right away, knew the offense, really helped his young Seattle Seahawk offense gel.
This is 3rd down and 6 for Jackson and the Seahawks. Picked up. The slant is caught by the big receiver Mike Williams for the first down at the 47-yard line. Meantime, on the opposite sideline, the St. Louis sideline, Kellen Clemens is throwing and warming up. We'll see if he comes in at quarterback for Sam Bradford, who played the first 2 series with that high left ankle sprain and with the injury. Clemens was just signed by the team this week. Remember, he was released 6 days ago, signed by the Rams, and he's getting warmed up as Bradford still sitting on the bench with the cape on. Lynch to the right, out of the Laurinaitis tackle. It's into Rams territory at the 47, a gain of 5.
Just watch this running back, Marshawn Lynch. He makes some of the best 3- and 4-yard runs you're ever going to see. Watch James Laurinaitis. He's one of the best tackling middle linebackers in football. I know you want to try to tackle this guy low around the legs, but Marshawn Lynch has broken more tackles than any back I've seen this year, Jaws.
Got to hit his legs, John. You go high, he's going to bounce off you. Wrap him up low.
Jackson to the middle, caught by Ben Manu at the 35-yard line. Darian Stewart, the safety, who had a concussion causing him to miss the game last week, returning to the lineup this week and lost his helmet on that play, but seems to be okay.
What you get when you have Marshawn Lynch, you can just fake him the ball quickly and watch the linebacker step up, bang, you throw a slant right behind Chamberlain for a first down. Marshawn Lynch not only can run the ball, but the threat of Lynch on these play-action passes has really helped Tavares Jackson.
And he is very good in the play-action game. Jackson, that is.
Setting up. It will complete to Dion Butler for the first time this year. Butler with a grab, and he gets to the 25-yard line. So Butler out of Penn State broke his leg nearly a year ago, had leg surgery, only made his season debut against the Eagles last week.
Here's what Sorry, Mike. Here's what I like about Tavares Jackson. He's tough right now. Off the play-action pass, you'll see James Hall come in clean with an inside rush. This is a guy playing with a torn pectoral muscle, hangs in the pocket, and delivers a strike. Nice play by Tavares Jackson.
2nd and 1, Leon Washington a run for the first down to the 23. Rachel Nichols with us tonight on the sideline. Rachel?
Hey guys, Sam Bradford talking to Josh McDaniels. They're not working on his ankle right now, but Kellen Clemens did want to warm up. Mike, as you said, he just joined this team 4 days ago. McDaniels told Clemens, you don't have to learn the whole offense, just learn the playbook, but still, you got to believe they want Bradford in this game.
All right, Rachel, a specially designed brace for his ankle and also a shot to deal with the pain pregame. That was the plan for Bradford. He's played a couple of series. We'll see what happens next time he gets out there. Jackson tripped and touchdown for the loss. Gary Gibson, Chris Long.
Yeah, Tavares Jackson just lost his footing as he was pulling away from Max under center. He steps on his foot. You'll see the left guard Robert Gallery step on his foot. That happens quite frequently in the NFL. The quarterback has to drive off that back leg, get out of there, get away from under center, and that won't happen.
Officially credited as a sack and given to Gibson. Charitable. 2nd and 15. Jackson hit with the pressure. Baldwin underneath with a reception. Got most of the sack yardage back. We'll have 3rd down coming up.
Well, Paul McQuiston, forced into duty at left tackle, really gets beat by rookie Robert Quinn. Watch Quinn get off the ball. Paul McQuiston at left tackle, no chance. And they're trying to chip with number 24 set. The St. Louis Rams are not blitzing uncharacteristically. They're trying to get after this Seahawk offense with 4 rushers. So far, so good.
Forset's got to do a better job of that, though, John.
3rd and 11 off the edge. Quinn again almost got there. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Baldwin.
Well, that's what happens when you get stepped on first down. You fall way behind in the down and distance, and you get into a 3rd and long, and Steve Spagnuolo dials up the pressure and creates some one-on-ones for guys like Chris Long, and he's done it all year. He's hit the quarterback for sacks 12 times, but he's got there numerous others. He's a premier rusher in the NFC for sure.
Stephen Hauschka has had a good year. 42-yard field goal. Guy kicked at Middlebury College in Vermont for 3 years, then wrapped up his college career at NC State. Quinn tried to jump in there like JPP did last night for the Giants. Couldn't get to the field goal, and Hauschka knocks it through. 10-0 Seattle. Stay out on the West Coast. Quite a game in San Francisco next Monday night. See how Roethlisberger's ankle comes through the week as the Steelers travel out west to meet the division champion San Francisco 49ers. 2 great legendary franchises thinking about the postseason already. Steelers-Niners next Monday night.
Ben will be in there, Mike. He's a warrior, man. That guy loves football. I love being around him.
Great effort to start this week is Thursday night. Heroics for the Steelers. No return for Jarius Norwood. Sam Bradford going to come back on the field for a 3rd drive. Taking over at the 20. Down 10. With the high left ankle sprain, Sam Bradford so far.
Yeah, Mike, he's missed 3 games. He's not practicing, and you could tell he's not transferring his weight right now. You know, he gets on that back leg, but it just stays back there, and you see the inaccurate throws. He just looks uncomfortable to me. Here off the play action, weight on that back foot. You want to snap those hips, transfer that weight. You just don't see the weight coming over that left ankle. That's the injured ankle, and he's struggling right now with his accuracy.
Steven Jackson had a big run earlier, and he trips, or else the head of steam may have been tough to bring him down. 11 for Steven.
Yeah, just keep giving it to Steven Jackson. If your quarterback has bad feet, give it to a guy that's healthy. It's a Hall of Fame back. It's going to be a slant play right off the right side. Well-blocked play and a good run. Jackson's been close twice now. Upset with himself for slipping there, but I'd keep giving the ball to Steven Jackson. I would make this game plan real confusing with a quarterback that's hurt.
I'm with you on that.
Eighth year with the Rams. He's their all-time leading rusher. Only a yard for Jackson there.
You know, Steven Jackson closing in on his 7th straight 1,000-yard season. And think about it. 6 straight years he hasn't even been to the playoffs. 32% of the Rams' offensive yardage. That's the highest for one player in the NFL. He's done it with a limited supporting cast. He hasn't had Pro Bowl receivers, Pro Bowl linemen. It's all been Steven Jackson. I would love to have seen this back play with a great offensive team. Amazing performance.
Second and 9. Bradford looked right. Had man coverage over there and found Brandon Lloyd on a comeback to the 44 to first down as we get to the end of the quarter.
Well, Josh McDaniels told us he's going to run a lot of double moves, try to get after these young corners. That time, good protection. And Sam Bradford finds his target in a one-on-one situation. The Seahawks are playing an 8-man front. 8 defenders loading the box on every snap, giving Bradford one-on-one snap after snap.
Hurt coming in, got banged around, and a block punt. The story of the opening quarter. 10-0 Seattle on Monday Night Football. Quarter number 2 on this clear 37-degree night in Seattle. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, and Rachel Nichols. 10-0 Seattle. Seahawks trying to get to 6-7 and win 4 of their last 5 games. One of the reasons they played better, their defense really come together last month and a half. Steven Jackson on a toss to the left into Seahawk territory across midfield into the 49.
This Pete Carroll defense, they're going to play an 8-man front. They're going to walk Earl Thomas or Chancellor in the box every snap. And when you have an 8-man front, you're going to get a lot of one-on-one coverage on the outside. And Brandon Browner has done an excellent job as a young pro playing man coverage. And watch Richard Sherman. You're going to get an array of double moves, hard routes to defend. That time Brandon Lloyd got after the rookie. If the Rams want to win, they're going to have to beat one-on-one coverage.
6-yard gain here is Jackson. In the middle of the shutoff, Earl Thomas came in there. John mentioned Earl a moment ago. He was the 14th overall pick in the draft in 2010. Cam Chancellor was a 5th-round pick, and the 2 young corners as well.
Earl Thomas is second on the team in tackles, and when he walks in there as an 8-man front, he'll hit you like a linebacker. Watch him see run. He beats a block and tackles Steven Jackson behind the line of scrimmage. The Rams are being dared to throw the football.
You got to throw it, John. Press man-to-man the outside. You got to take those shots for Sam Bradford.
3rd down, Anthony Hargrove, the pass rush pressure, but a good job to hang in there and find Lloyd on the sideline for the first down at the 35-yard line, a gain of 15.
And the key was time. Sam Bradford had time, and you'll see Lloyd work this route. Double move once again. That is a beautifully executed double move comeback route, and the throw right on the money. But it's all about time. The quarterback has to have time to allow the wide receiver to work that route. Nice job by the Rams offensive line.
Now Jackson cutting it back. There's Steven Jackson. Held on to by Cam Chancellor, but a first down to the 25-yard line. Good drive here by St. Louis.
Good mixture by this Ram offense. Watch this toss sweep to the right side. Seattle's going to string it out, and this is just great instinctive running by Steven Jackson. Not many guys can stretch that ball to the perimeter and have the confidence and the courage to cut that back in the teeth of the Seattle defense with authority like Steven Jackson.
Nice mix. Here's play 8 of the drive. Jackson for 2. Chancellor down there making the tackle. The guy pushing the buttons, Josh McDaniel. Of course, the head coach for the Broncos. He called the plays on that 2007 50-touchdown Tom Brady pass season for the undefeated Patriots.
Yeah, I bet that was a real pleasure working with that bunch of offensive players. Been a tougher job for Josh McDaniels here in St. Louis. He just hasn't had the weapons, and of course, the injuries have depleted this whole offensive group. I'll tell you, he was a little fiery yesterday. I enjoyed being with Josh. You know, one thing about him, he's going to give it everything he's got, no matter who he's got out there.
Play action, Bradford about to get hit. K.J. Wright again.
K.J. Wright is killing the St. Louis Rams, and these play action passes are great, but somebody has to block K.J. Wright on the blind side of Sam Bradford. That time Billy Badgema fails miserably, and you can't get beat to the inside clean when you're in full protection on the backside of your quarterback, especially in that red zone area. And boy, the Rams have been terrible in the red zone this year, Mike.
Worst TD percentage in the red zone. Haven't gotten there yet. Trying to stay in field goal range here. Bradford throwing the screen back too high for Lance Kendricks. And from here, a field goal will be 46 or 7 yards.
Well, even if he would have completed that ball, had no chance. The Seahawks sniffed that one out. They saw the play action, didn't bite it on 3rd and 14. I believe Sam just threw that one away.
Hear that booing for Josh Brown. Heck, he was a former kicker here, Mike.
Yes, he was.
That's not right.
Seattle's 7th-round pick in 03, kicked here for 5 years.
And watch Red Bryant, number 79. This guy's blocked 3 field goals and an extra point already this season. And when he's in there, they call it a block party.
Officially from 46.
Josh Brown, yeah, take that, crowd.
They'll still boo him anyway.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. Enter the Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a GMC Sierra Denali at gmc.com/NFL. AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. And ESPNshop.com, where you can get all of your official NFL sideline gear.
See Safeco, home of the Mariners, and then CenturyLink Field, home of the Seahawks here along Puget Sound. And our aerial view tonight, our aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Want to know why it's loud? Right there. All the noise bangs off that roof and comes right on down to the field. So it's really loud here, but it's nothing compared to the old King Dome with the concrete roof there. Talk to the longtime Seahawk fans, and you say, how does it compare to the King Dome? No contest. That was the loudest place. Leon Washington on the return. Stop shy of the 20-yard line. Dominique Curry tackle. 4 minutes into the second quarter. The Seahawks up 7. Back in Seattle, 10-3. Seahawks on top, looking to sweep the Rams. Won the first meeting 3 weeks ago in the Dome in St. Louis, 24-7. That game featured 19 punts. Rams 2-10, Seahawks 5-7 on the season. Marshawn Lynch running left. Good surge by the St. Louis defense. Quentin Michael started it. Darrell Scott finished it. You know, both teams' offensive lines beat up all year. Look at the Rams and look at the starters they have on injured reserve. Jason Smith, Roger Saffold, their 2 bookend tackles, and then Jacob Bell last week injured. And you flip it over to Seattle, unit on the field right now. Those are 2 rookies they drafted this year, Moffitt and Carpenter. They're both out for the season. And then we showed you in the first quarter the injury that took Russell Okung out, the left tackle for the Seattle team. So it has been patchwork and try to keep them together more than for most teams with these 2. Lynch in the backfield is stopped by Darian Stewart, and that O-line not getting it done right now for Seattle.
Well, offensive line coach Tom Cable has done a tremendous job. He's one of the better offensive line coaches in pro football. He trains for versatility. His left guard can play left tackle. His right tackle can play right guard. And he's able to get away with a contingency plan when players get hurt. But that's why you have 16 offensive linemen go to training camp, because you never have enough good big people, and you got to have a great line coach. Seattle's lucky to have Cable.
2 back-to-back 2-yard losses make it 3rd and long. The Rams bring 4. Jackson running out of time. Ran out of it, sacked by Long. Ran away from Eugene Sims and finally brought down by James Hall.
James Hall, he's been doing it forever. 12 years out of Michigan. Did it for the Lions. He's done it for the Rams, and he plays just as hard if they're 2-10. It doesn't really matter. Just a second effort play by James Hall. I believe he's on the left side right there. No, he's on the right side. I'm sorry. Just a pursuit sack. Number 96. He keeps chasing, keeps coming. And Tavares Jackson's got to learn how to take better care of himself. That's how quarterbacks get hurt right there.
John Ryan. Seahawks punter. Fair caught, a 43-yarder, brought in by Nick Miller at the 43. So good drive for the field goal. Nice defensive 3-and-out from the Rams D. St. Louis has it in decent position. Hall made the play on 3rd down. 9 carries, 47 yards so far for Steven Jackson. He starts this series on the sideline. And the 6-year veteran Cadillac Williams, late of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, inactive the last 3 games. He's the running back as the Rams take over with good field position at the 43. Bradford, a first down throw is caught on the sideline. Brandon Lloyd and Bradford haven't had a lot of time to get used to each other, but they look pretty smooth here tonight.
Well, no question about it. Brandon Lloyd is a very efficient wide receiver. He's a savvy wide receiver, very disciplined route runner. He knows how to work the corner. Well, Bradford was playing with fire right there. KJ Wright had a really good drop and almost picked that one off, but Bradford got it around him and got it to Brandon Lloyd.
Great time to take a shot right here. Second and short, top of your screen, Denario Alexander.
Run with Cadillac. We'll have the first down. Seattle 45. We have a Sports Center right now. Good evening to Trey Wingo.
Well, good evening, Michael. Not a good evening for a couple of NFL coaches. Todd Haley fired by the Chiefs after winning the AFC West last season. Romeo Crennel will be their interim head coach. Tony Sperano fired by the Dolphins. Todd Bowles will be the interim there. Meanwhile, Mixed bag for the Packers. Wideout Greg Jennings is going to miss the next 2 to 3 weeks with a sprained MCL, but they believe he will be back for the playoffs. We go back to Seattle.
Green Bay is Kansas City on the road, and then home games Christmas night against the Bears, New Year's Day against the Lions. Cadillac to the right, Williams the run. John, a guy who you had in Tampa, and I know one of the players you admire the most in the league.
Well, he's been through a lot. Back-to-back seasons, he had horrific knee injuries. NFL Rookie of the Year in 2005, has rejuvenated his career. He's had some problems with a calf the last few weeks, but if he's healthy, he's an outstanding complement to Steven Jackson, and the Rams certainly need that.
Tore his right patella tendon in 2007, worked his way back late on into the next season, and in the very end of that year, tore the other patella tendon. Still going, 6th year in the league, Cadillac Williams. 2nd and 5, Bradford's pass, nearly intercepted again. Cam Chancellor his hands on that.
Well, you don't see many 6'4" safeties, and there's a real buzz around here about Cam Chancellor, number 31. He has been magnificent playing in the box as a big safety. There's just good recognition, and you see his ball skills. He's intercepted passes. He's made ferocious hits. He's emerging as a young star in this league. He and Earl Thomas, I think, the best young safety combination in football.
Yeah, Chancellor has 4 interceptions so far this year, almost had his 5th right there.
Direct snap, Steven Jackson with a pulling guard out there for him. Jackson couldn't get the first down. Woo. It's Chancellor with the stop again, and we'll 4th and 1, and a decision coming up.
Well, the Chancellor, he makes a superb open field hit. Watch Cam Chancellor read this direct snap to Steven Jackson. He'll shuffle across the formation and shoot his gun. Pow! Man, I like watching this Cam Chancellor. That's Steven Jackson. 4th and 1, Mike, and this is an area where the St. Louis Rams, last in football, just over 50% in 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 this year.
Take a shot with Alexander. You got a man-to-man. Try to get the home run.
Play action. Bradford throws it. Incomplete. Coverage was good by Richard Sherman as they tried to get it to Denario Alexander. But one more time, K.J. Wright made an impact on the play as he rushed Bradford.
Well, you'll see the press man-to-man coverage here. What coverage by Sherman. Nowhere to throw the football.
Nothing makes Pete Carroll happier than watching his defense come up with a stand. Lots of hugs for his guys over there as they are able to get Bradford and the Rams off the field and get Tavares Jackson the ball back at his own 36. Jackson throwing for the middle. That should have been almost intercepted. Tough play for James Laurinaitis.
Well, James Laurinaitis, a very active middle linebacker. Not only leads the Rams in tackles, but look at this nice drop into the secondary. He hunts up the crossing route from Miller. Should have had the interception. Tough throw. Boy, he almost came up with that one. Not a throw that you want to make as a high percentage throw. Tavares didn't get that one in there. Laurinaitis should have picked it off.
Trying to get his tight end, Zach Miller, and you watch Laurinaitis during the game. He's as involved as the quarterback, changing the plays. Here's a pass to the tight end, Miller this time. And Laurinaitis will be the one to bring him down and erase him over at the 43-yard line. Laurinaitis was the 2nd-round pick out of Ohio State in 2009. You know his dad, he was Joe, the Animal, part of the Road Warriors.
Didn't know that.
The World Wrestling Federation guys. You knew that. Come on.
No, I didn't.
We were talking about it.
Are you serious? You didn't know that?
Never pays attention to you, Mike.
No. As a matter of fact, I walked to the original Starbucks in Seattle today, and Laurinaitis was there with his dad. His dad was telling me about throwing Hulk Hogan over his shoulders. But he loves watching his son play. Great defensive intensity and the leader. 3rd and 2, Jackson's pass. Golden Tate's got it. Couldn't wrestle the ball away. It's a 1st down at midfield for Tate.
They need Golden Tate to get it going. Mike Williams been disappointing this year. Sidney Rice on IR. They have to have their 2nd-year player out of Notre Dame make some plays. You're going to see it on the left side of your screen. Just a little stick out to the outside. Ball's well thrown by Tavares. It's a big 1st down. Young receiving corps. Tate, Doug Baldwin, the rookie out of Stanford, have made key contributions here in recent weeks, but they need to get Mike Williams back to his form he had last year.
Williams got paid, and he's not paying off this year. A Lynch run, spinning through for a couple of yards. Yeah, they'll wrestle him down. Mentioned Mike Williams out of USC. Got some Pac-10 flavor certainly on this Seattle team. You saw Browner, the defensive back. He played at Oregon State. Watched Marshawn Lynch, one of the 5 Cal Bears, playing for the former USC head coach. And Pete even saw Golden Tate during his USC days. Of course, the annual traditional matchup with Notre Dame. And Richard Sherman, the DB we mentioned, he was a wide receiver before he became a corner at Stanford. And Pete very familiar with those players from college. Tight end Cameron Morrow with the catch on the edge. Darian Stewart goes down to make a good tackle and limited to no gain. John, you mentioned that to Pete this week about his knowledge of the Pac-10 and how he's used it to his advantage thus far.
Well, it's no question. He recruited a lot of these guys out of high school, and he saw them play live against his USC Trojans. I think it's a huge advantage. Plus, you like to have West Coast players from that Pac-10 play out here in Seattle because it's a long way from home, man. It's a long way from home.
Matters to play out here.
It sure does, man.
Good theory. I like it. 3rd and 7. Rams bring pressure. Jackson throws. Caught by Tate. First down, out of bounds at the 36.
That's Josh Gordy, number 38. It goes back to all the injuries the Rams have had at corner. Gordy, number 38, one-on-one with Golden Tate on an outside breaking route. He's late to get there. If Seattle sees one-on-one coverage, they should throw the ball at Josh Gordy until they find out whether or not he can cover well enough to play in pro football.
Well, when teams throw at him, they've completed 71% going into the game, John. So you're absolutely right. You see Gordy one-on-one, get after him.
Change the snap count, draw the flag, take a shot downfield for Tate. Thrown out of bounds and incomplete. But it'll be a penalty on the Rams. Be called by Bill Levy, who was the referee in Super Bowl 40. The Seahawks got some bad calls in that game. And this is the first time Levy's worked a game in Seattle.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Since then. Well, he took a shot there for the cornerback, Justin King. John was just talking about Josh Gordy. Jaws, it's been brutal for the Rams. 10 corners on injured reserve this year, including their top 3 out for the year.
Well, the key is, too, when you have Steve Spagnuolo, who likes to bring the pressure, likes to bring the blitz, you have to have corners that can play one-on-one. With all these players in a depleted secondary, you have to play a more conservative defense. So this has really hurt Spagnuolo.
I don't care who's coaching. If you lose 10 corners, you're in real trouble.
Justin King, 21 at the top of your screen, only guy who's been here since training camp as a corner. Lynch runs to the right. He's close to the first down as we're closing in on the 2-minute warning here with Seattle up 7. If you're just joining us, lone touchdown of this game scored by Michael Robinson. He blocked a punt in the first, or Doug Baldwin blocked the punt. Robinson scooped it up and scored. That's been the only touchdown here this evening.
You know, it was interesting. We just showed Steve Spagnuolo there. He talked about the loss of Al Harris. You know, how much that hurt that secondary as well, that veteran leadership that just had a passion to play the game.
2nd and 1, Lynch to the right, going to throw it to Michael Robinson, and behind him, an incomplete. So Robinson, the fullback, was a Niner. The former Penn State quarterback was out there to block and then snuck out as a receiver.
Well, we're seeing a lot of trickery here. We saw it on the opening kickoff on a reverse. That time, Mike Robinson, he tries to sneak out of the backfield. He was open. Ball poorly thrown. They're asking a lot of Marshawn Lynch now.
Poorly thrown, John. He's a running back that runs over people.
This is Lynch time right here.
As a rookie in Buffalo, he threw a touchdown. There he fumbles the football. It's St. Louis, looks to be on it. Let's check the scramble at the bottom. Ram ball. So the trick play doesn't work. They line up for 3rd and 1. Pete Carroll saying, we got it. The initial signal was ram ball.
Almost tripped on his fullback. It's a bad exchange from the very beginning. Costly mistake by the Seattle offense.
Brady Papinga recovers. Rams ball as we hit the 2-minute warning. Brady Papinga with the fumble recovery for the Rams. He played 90 games in the NFL, had 0 fumble recoveries. Now he has 2 in his last 3. Full complement of timeouts for St. Louis inside the 2. Steven Jackson loss of a yard. Let's see if the clock runs.
You'll see Mike Robinson, the fullback, get into Tavares Jackson's way. And then it's a poor mesh between quarterback and tailback. That's an inexcusable error in pro football or any level of football at this stage of the game. Don't know if Tavares was too flat coming out of there or if...
Oh, Chano's Michael Robinson. He's got to clear that.
Oh, you can't blame anybody from up here, Ron.
Yep. Don't blame the quarterback.
Neither side chose to take a timeout. Clock runs all the way down to 1:17. Bradford one hop swung toward Jackson, incomplete. It stops the clock at 1:16 with 3rd and 11 ahead.
Well, you just watch Sam. He just looks uncomfortable. I don't want to say the word disinterested because I know the passion he has for the game. He's hurt, but he's really struggling right now with his accuracy. You know, protection was good here. Sets up in the pocket. His ball's got to come out on time. You know, just looks uncomfortable throwing the football right now. Can't transfer that weight.
Function in 2 weeks with almost no practice, perhaps?
Yeah. Oh, that's certainly a major issue.
3rd and 11. Seattle brings 4. They try to screen it inside to Jackson, and it was almost knocked away by Allen Branch. So without using a timeout, Seattle's going to get it back with 1:11 to go. Toyota halftime show follows with Chris Berman of the fastest 3 minutes, the perfect Packers, the almost perfect Tebow, and the 2 firings in the NFL today. Todd Haley in Kansas City, Tony Sperano in Miami. 32 teams, 3 have already made a coaching change. Toyota halftime show, Chris Lev, Adam Schefter, and Chris Mortensen coming up. Donnie Jones, punt blocked earlier. Their catch on the 47-yard punt. And Leon Washington will give the ball back to the offense at the 25.
If I were Seattle right here on offense, I would be very careful. It's these obvious passing situations, Mike, where Seattle has gotten in real trouble this year. Remember, this whole NFC West struggles protecting the passer. When you look at Arizona, the 49ers, the Rams, and Seattle, these are 4 of the worst pass protecting teams in football. Seattle's got to be real careful because this is what the Rams do best: heat up your quarterback.
Keep an eye on Chris Long. This one he likes to get it going.
From the 25, Justin Forsett on the sideline. Only a gain of 2 from the 27. The Dolphins gave up 9 sacks, in Philadelphia yesterday. That moved them to the top of this list. But per dropback, not just the raw sack numbers, but it takes into account how long you pass. The Niners, the Cards, the Seahawks, and the Rams give up the most.
That's why you want to be a pass rusher in this division.
Yeah, and if you look at the tape, you see why. It's an inferior line play in the West.
Justin Forsett remains the back. On a stunt, Chris Long came up the middle. And the pass is incomplete. We'll have 3rd down coming up.
You know, how about some props to this Rams defense? They came in here not doing much, and here you see the twist inside from Chris Long and right up the gut on Jackson. He had no shot to set his feet and get the ball down the field. The Rams right now flying to the football, penetrating in the running game, getting pressure on the quarterback.
You know what we might have here? We might have 3 possessions inside the 2-minute warning with no timeouts used. Which means we are seeing bad offense. 3rd and 7. Jackson. Forsett. Oh, good job by Forsett. He made a nice move to get away from a tackle and a 1st down out of the 39-yard line.
Well, Darian Stewart's got to make this play. Steve Spagnuolo's got to be beside himself.
Got away from Stewart. Timeout Seattle as the Seahawks keep the ball. 44 seconds left. Seahawks a couple of timeouts, trying to add to a 7-point lead. Trying to win for the 4th time in the last 5 games to get within a game of 500. Jackson lost the shotgun snap. And is down there.
Unbelievable the amount of just
bad football. How's that?
Football.
Let's be honest.
Tavares gets stepped on. He's missed a handoff and now a bad shotgun snap.
Pete Carroll takes another timeout, so Seattle has 1 left. It's catchable. Jackson missed it. Jackson was getting up, and it looked like his knee cleared the ground when he was touched, which means the play should have kept going. But it was ruled down, the loss of 5. Now Jackson flushed again. Good pressure by the Rams, and C.J. Ayu got you for the sack. And the fans on the Seahawks offense.
Yeah, and the Rams call the timeout. They're going to get the ball back.
Just indecisive by Tavares, you have to have a clock in your head. You're going to see Chris Long again working against Breno Giacomini. Tavares pushes up. You have to have a clock in your head. You get a couple hitches, you have to get rid of the football. And again, you have to credit the St. Louis Rams. This is what they do, Mike. They can rush the passer, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're ready to take another quick timeout.
Why not?
Maybe they can block a punt, because that's about the only offense we've seen tonight.
Yeah, you know what I didn't like about Jackson there when I saw him in that pocket? He tucked the ball to run. Sometimes that mobility is to move around and find an open receiver.
I just saw the tight shot of his name. I was just thinking of the old XFL. What if He Hate Me was tackled by IU, you know? 3rd and 20 draw, 4 set. Will be tackled. Rams will use the timeout. 23 seconds left.
He Hate Me.
You know, the Rams have a punt returner, Nick Miller. I saw him go to the house against Arizona a couple of weeks ago. It'll be interesting to see how Steve Spagnuolo treats this situation. Do you go for a block? Or do you try to set up a return and maybe get a last-second field goal opportunity for Josh Brown? 23 seconds is all you have.
You mentioned that Nick Miller 88-yard punt return was the first Rams punt return since Dante Hall took one back in 07. He'd like to do it again to John Ryan. Miller was home getting ready for Thanksgiving with his family in Arizona, got the call to come in and played against the Cardinals and had that punt return for a touchdown. There he is, number 17.
Yeah, this is a mysterious group of Rams. A lot of these guys just met each other
this week.
Miller in his 3rd year out of Southern Utah. Almost got to Ryan. Miller from the 25. Got one man to miss. And only gains a yard back to the 26-yard line. So there is no return. 14 left.
See the near block that time by the Rams.
Alexander, Denario Alexander, the receiver.
Yeah, their first-round draft choice, Robert Quinn, blocked one against the New Orleans Saints earlier this season. And they like to use those long, tall, athletic men to come off the edge. That time Alexander almost got there.
Well, the Rams will get the ball first to start the 3rd quarter. And that ends the first half. 5-7 and 2-10, and that's exactly what it looked like. Only touchdown scored was a punt block. 10-3 Seattle at the break. What are you laughing at? It's Boomer.
I was hoping for more.
Halftime show. Chris.
Hi, Michael. I can hear you guys are having a blast. Hope everybody is enjoying the action.
Beautiful look on Puget Sound, the great city of Seattle. Desperately seeking a few more of those moments in the second half. 10-3 Seahawks leading the Rams. Mike, John, and Jaws. Rachel Nichols on the sideline. What about the Rams? How do they get this thing going here, Ron?
You know, real simple, Mike. You know, you got Lloyd, you got Alexander. You're 2-10. You got 2 rookie corners playing press man-to-man coverage. Start going to 3-step, 5-step drops, and throw the ball down the field. Take the challenge. Get after them.
I'm glad
What do you got?
I never had to work with you.
You are.
Seattle Seahawks. They got it. Pete Carroll can't be happy. They squandered some opportunities. They missed a exchange, handing the ball off. Tavares Jackson's been stepped on coming away from the center. They've had bad shotgun snaps. They must get Marshawn Lynch going. Remember, the Rams, I don't remember them coming from behind to win when they've been behind at halftime. I don't remember them doing that, Mike. The only way the Rams can win this football game is if Seattle makes mistakes. They got to clean up their play.
Rams certainly have not done it on the road in the Spagnuolo era and beyond. Rams have lost their last 29 away from St. Louis when trailing at the break. Quarter number 3 begins. Return by Jarius Norwood across the 20. Drive will start at 23. And here's Rachel Nichols.
Well, Mike, I checked in with Steve Spagnuolo on Sam Bradford, and he said that he actually thought that Bradford's movement and rhythm was getting better as we approached the half. But when I did press him, he acknowledged they are using Jackson a little bit more than planned because of Bradford's difficulties. As for this side on the Seahawks, Pete Carroll says he wants to see better movement on both sides of the line of scrimmage. When I told him I expected a little bit more Marshawn Lynch, he said, "We'll get him in the second half."
9 for 28 in the first. Rachel, thank you. On this 35-degree clear night, second half begins. with a Bradford throw toward Lloyd. Is it intercepted? Brandon Browner's got it. It's ruled down here back at the 33.
Brandon Browner, he might go to the Pro Bowl before this season's over. Just a poor throw by Sam Bradford. Right out of the play fake. Ball's thrown behind Lloyd. And Browner does a nice job in transition, but that's a poor throw. I think it's a clean interception. This cornerback, Brandon Browner, played 4 years in Canada, had 6 NFL tryouts. Pete Carroll sees him, says, let's go to camp, let's get to work. That's his 5th interception. He's been dominant at times.
That is a clean interception. That is one heck of a play by Browner.
That's a bad throw by Sam Bradford.
Way behind him. Way behind Lloyd on the play. Got to hit those. Get a guy open, you got to hit him.
The Browner had 2 interceptions against the Eagles last week with a first play sudden change, getting the ball back for the Seahawks at the 34. And here goes Marshawn Lynch. Brady Papinga tackles him and a gain of 4. Remember, Seattle starting the game with the ball, so it's like they almost start both halves with possession and no chance for St. Louis to gain momentum.
You know, after talking to James Laurinaitis last night, number 55 of the Rams, what's disappointing for guys like Laurinaitis is they can't win a game with their defense. Their special teams and their offense are killing the St. Louis Rams.
Doug Baldwin bubble screens. Baldwin first down to the 23-yard line. Undrafted rookie out of Stanford, Baldwin. He made the big impact play in our first half. If you weren't with us, the game started with the reverse. Baldwin getting it and taking it for a 40-yard return out to the 43-yard line. And then on special teams, as the Seahawks punted, it was Baldwin who caught it on the fly, downed it at the 5, and then blocking the punt of Donnie Jones. So Baldwin truly special on teams in the first half for the Rams. Lynch cut back. That's a staple of this offense. And look at Marshawn Lynch battling forward, unstoppable at times.
Wow. That looked like his run last week for a touchdown against the Philadelphia Eagles. You cannot go high on Marshawn Lynch. You must tackle him low. You must grab his legs and wrap him up. If not, he will just run through all those arm tackles. Boy, look at the tenacity of Marshawn Lynch. Wow.
I'd like to see you go tackle him. You seem to have all the answers. You go tackle that beast.
Quarterback, John.
Gain of 12, touching the 10, first and goal. Lynch to the 5.
This is a powerful man. You know, you look at him, 5'11", 215 pounds, cannot bring him down. Spin moves. He's got excellent vision. Look at that. Downfield blockers. Sense of where the defenders are coming from, makes them miss, and gets every inch out of the run.
You know you got something when your own sideline gets up and watches him run.
Yes.
He energizes his whole Seahawk football team and organization.
Second and goal. Play pass. Back shoulder attempt to Golden Tate with Darian Stewart over there covering. Justin Bannon in there on the pass rush. When you talk about beast mode, it's the nickname Marshawn Lynch has gotten for his hard running. Good years in Buffalo, and then here in Seattle, that great run in the playoffs last year. There's Mom. So the deal is, Lynch used to eat Skittles as a kid and get him for scoring touchdowns. So they've taken this Skittles thing as he was using them on the sideline to help calm his stomach last week, and it got some TV attention, and they are taking it to the max level of exposure. Third and goal, he's out. Jackson seeking anything. Throwing. Incomplete. Rod Hood deflected it. Well, fourth down.
They just can't get anything going in the passing game. That time, Steve Spagnuolo, the head coach of the Rams, brings all-out blitz. Everybody's blitzing, and you're going to see a free rusher on the right side there, Chris Long. And the Rams do a nice job holding their coverage.
Ball was tipped, but John, you know, Forsette's got to do a better job with his blocking. There's been a number of times He's had that pickup, and he hasn't gotten the job done with the quick pressure in the face of Tavares Jackson.
Hauschka, good from 42, now good from 23. 13-3, double-digit lead Seattle. Get a look all around, some great shopping. Bunch of people out enjoying the holiday weekend here. In this city, 612,000 the population. About 2 million people live here in King County. 13-3, Jarius Norwood from 6 deep. Hit it. Brought down 25-yard line.
Steven Jackson had a solid first half. He must become the focus in the second half. He had 50 yards in the first half. You'll see a nice job by the Rams offensive line. Watch this wham block on Mebane. That's what you have to do to create the seam on the inside. Here the Seahawks load up the box. 8 defenders, toss back to Jackson. This is a man 236 pounds. Look at that vision, the lateral agility, and turns it back upfield. Get Steven Jackson the rock.
Jackson right. Good block from his offensive lineman, Harvey Dahl.
I mean, to tell you, it's an 8-man front. That time, they didn't even block number 99, Branch. He gets it all done on his own. This is a 235-pound workhorse back. You're going to see penetration off your left side. They don't even block Branch. He runs away from Branch, bounces it to the outside. Great creator of offense, Steven Jackson.
Going to come back to the left side and going low to try to bring him down was Earl Thomas.
Wow.
Talking about low man wins. Wow.
A lot of people compare this young man to Troy Polamalu. Remember, Pete Carroll coached Polamalu at SC, and now he has Earl Thomas, number 29. That's the second time he has stuffed Steven Jackson behind the line of scrimmage.
But John, what is Lance Kendricks thinking?
Don't know, Ron.
Yeah, he runs right by Thomas, and he crushes Jackson in the backfield.
Kendricks is the rookie tight end out of Wisconsin. Obviously a better pass catcher than he is a blocker.
Obviously.
That's been seen here. They need a short two. They got a flag. Denario Alexander moved. Now 3rd and 7.
False start, number 84 offense. 5-yard penalty. They're down.
3rd and 1.5 yards. That's a ridiculous penalty by Alexander. The Rams not only are last in the league in yardage, they're last in the league in 3rd down offense, and that's a big reason for it. Self-inflicted wounds. Inexcusable error by the Rams. Alexander.
Need 7. Clemens off the edge. Sacks Bradford. Chris Clemens sacked 9 on the season.
That's what he does. He gets in this crowd noise. He thrives in it, but he feasts on St. Louis Ram offensive tackles. Clemens killed the Rams earlier this season. That time he goes after LaVore at left tackle. It isn't even fair. The Rams cannot block Chris Clemens in any one-on-one situations. But it all goes back to the penalty on Alexander on 3rd and 1.
20 sacks last 2 years for Clemens. Michael Sinclair, the last Seahawk to have 20 sacks in 2 seasons. Good pick that time by Jones. Here's Leon Washington. Down at the 47-yard line, but we have a penalty marker down.
During the return, holding number 15 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down. Timeout.
Good thing we got those Doug Baldwin special team highlights in early. Was the one. Up for holding. 12th man. These very proud Seattle fans. Even the 5 and 17, great support. We'll see a bunch of empty seats in this stadium here tonight. 35-degree night. Thrilled to be back on Monday Night Football too. First time in 4 years. Leading by 10, Tavares Jackson in the offense. Marshawn Lynch. Got 8 yards to the 45.
Yeah, this one their favorite plays. They get kind of that wind back, wham to the backside. Cameron Mora comes around and leads Marshawn Lynch up in the hole. You'll see it right here. He's going to make his move. Boy, that's Marshawn Lynch. Knows to get behind that guy, running that kick-out block. Very effective run all season long for the Seahawks.
Right back to him. Fullback Michael Robinson trying to lead the way, and he gets a first down to the 48-yard line. You know, Darrell Bevel's his offensive coordinator. The quarterback's Tavares Jackson. They were in Minnesota. They had Adrian Peterson the last few years, so it's an obvious question to these guys, and obviously Adrian Peterson has better speed in the open field. But they said for tenacity and never giving up on a run, great similarities between the two. Tavares like turning around, give it to Adrian. Not a bad second option after you leave Minnesota and come to Seattle. Certainly Peterson the better running back. But Lynch pretty good in his own right. On the reverse, there goes Golden Tate. And a tackle by Justin King. The only thing that stopped him at the 39.
Nice play call by Darrell Bevel. You're seeing the Rams now fast flow to the football. This will slow down that pursuit. Fake that inside handoff. Golden Tate coming around. Slow down the pursuit. All of a sudden those seams are created.
What you do, you start with Marshawn Lynch, and you can set up a lot of offense off of Marshawn Lynch. Play actions, reverses, but it all starts with number 24.
After the gain of 14, bubble out to Baldwin. Finds receivers to block for him. He got knocked down just shy of the first down. Golden Tate and Ben Obamanu threw a nice block for the kid who's come into the receiver room, really changed a lot. You know, this guy, he texts Tavares Jackson earlier this season on a Monday, starting to talk about what the other team does defensively. He gets in there and starts to do the work at a level where you usually see quarterbacks do.
Well, you know, he was at Stanford with this guy, Andrew Luck, and Jim Harbaugh. You know, and he understood the importance of preparation. Very few rookies come in and are telling the veteran quarterbacks, hey, I'm going to spend time with you. I'm studying. I'm going to become better. So that's a positive sign by Doug Baldwin.
He limps over, trying to draw the false start up front as they saw the movement. And the defense tried to catch Seattle.
False start. Number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You know, Baldwin played for David Shaw also at Stanford, who's still there, the head coach, and he understands the West Coast offense. The terminology at Stanford's the same as the terminology here in Seattle. And this kid is special because, yeah, he's frustrated. He didn't get drafted. But he says, I'm going to worry about what I can control. I'm going to get in tremendous shape. I'm going to go to training camp, and I will compete. And that's just what he's done. And he's been the #1 receiver for the Seahawks. But his pedigree at Stanford certainly helped.
After the penalty, it's Lynch with the run for a couple of yards and finally brought down to the 32-yard line. You know, this is a receiving corps that was supposed to be headlined by Sidney Rice. They spent a lot of money in free agency to go out and get Rice. 5-year deal, $18.5 million guaranteed. Rice, often hurt in Minnesota, has come here and has been injured, multiple concussions, shoulder injury. He's out now. So it's an opportunity for Baldwin and Golden Tate, Ben Obamanu to step up.
I think Tavares Jackson needs to step up, make some plays here down the stretch and show that he's the future at quarterback for the Seahawk organization.
On 3rd and 4, Jackson to Mike Williams, first down to 26.
Well, when he makes throws like that, that'll win some confidence of not only his football team, but the organization in general. A simple throw, but you have to get some zip on this football because the underneath coverage is going to drive these routes. You'll see Jackson just get the football, immediately look to where he wants to go. He knows he's got that single coverage on the outside. Get the throw out there, get the first down. But I agree with you, John. I think Tavares Jackson has to step up.
Play action. 3 receivers downfield are covered, so Jackson just keeps it and maxes out what he can, gets 3 yards. By the way, Josh Gordy, the starting corner for the Rams, injured his hip. His return questionable, so Rod Hood is out there with the first team at corner instead of just being there for the nickel.
Well, just about every corner that's come through St. Louis has had some kind of injury this year. Tragedy when you count the number of corners that the Rams have lost. And I think right here, Mike, Seattle's got to be really content with a field goal. I just don't see the Rams scoring at any time in this football game based on what I've seen tonight.
There's Lynch going left. Bouncing off a tackle at the 20. What else is new? A couple of yards shy of the first down.
This guy just a hard runner. The Rams are flying to the football. You got to give this depleted Rams defense some credit. I mean, this guy, they're flying. You get the violent running. I mean, watch Marshawn Lynch. You want to tackle this guy? Are you kidding me? He's coming right into your living room right now. Look at these hits. Does not go down. Pad level. Runs behind his pads, not in front of his pads. In fact, he's got 37 yards after contact, so he's piling up the yards.
Just beat the play clock. Jackson, pressure, put it up top for Butler. Are we going to call pass interference? If your feet get tangled, it's not pass interference. It's incidental contact. And the two officials are discussing that now. Tangled feet is incidental contact, is not pass interference. As this crew makes the call, if it's a Bill Levy overturned call, the Seattle fans will react.
There is no foul for pass interference. Both players are looking back at the football. Fourth down.
That's a good call. Their feet actually did get tangled.
Nice play by number 36, Chris Smith. Remember earlier in the game, he was victimized on the block punt. Zero blitz, all out pressure by Steve Spagnuolo, and he's asking corners that just got here to go play all-out blitz coverage.
This is Chris Smith's first game in the National Football League. You say, hey, thanks, Coach, for calling that zero coverage. I'm all alone out here.
You can see Pete Carroll asking the official, why then did you throw the flag? Don't know what the answer was. It's not what Pete wanted to hear. Hauschka's made 2. He's wide right on this one from 38. So he made it from 42, made it from 23, but the miss there, the ball belongs to the Rams. And the deficit's still 10. 1 week from tonight, a couple of winning teams, glory be, will be in San Francisco to see the Steelers and the 49ers. The 49ers have won this division. Will Big Ben be there? Will Patrick Willis be there? Will James Harrison be there?
We'll be there.
Stories to follow Monday night. Bradford first down, long toss, flag down as the pass intended for Denario Alexander is incomplete. St. Louis trying to take a shot down the field.
I'm all for that, Mike. Got to take your shots. Press man-to-man by a couple of rookies.
Number 25 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
When you play a lot of press coverage, you're going to be scrutinized by the officials. Let's see if it's beyond 5 yards. Boy. You know, Brandon Browner has had 14 or 15 penalties this year, number 39.
13.
13, and these young corners playing press coverage. I know the opposing coach says, hey, watch for the illegal contact, watch for the interference calls. I think you got to let them play.
Well, the 33, first down for Sam Bradford. And Steven Jackson's erased. Brandon Meebane's done a good job against the run this year. For the loss, Rachel Nichols on the sideline.
Guys, you can see Chris Long has some ice on his right ankle. It's an ankle sprain that he's been nursing for quite some time, but it is acting up during this game. No way is he coming out of this game, he's informed everyone, but is getting ice and treatment at the breaks here.
He has been very limited in practice, not at all really the last couple of weeks. Still trying to play through a 2-10 season. A lot of admiration for Chris Long.
Well, he's like his dad. He's a warrior. How he was special.
Max protect and roll in the pocket. Bradford trying to squeeze it in, and Cam Chancellor almost had the pick.
This kid's been all over the field tonight, the ex-Virginia Tech Hokie. Everybody said he's too tall. He doesn't compute to the pro game. Pete Carroll said, sign him up, I'll take him. Another sprint protection. They're rolling away from pressure. And watch Cam Chancellor, number 31, get underneath this outside breaking route, jump up and use his size to make a play. There's no substitute for size and speed, and Chancellor has them both. I wish I was his agent.
Yeah,
of course I have been tonight.
Yes, you have been.
3rd and 13, throw back to Steven Jackson. There's nobody over here except for one man, and Browner got blocked. And there goes Steven Jackson. to the 21-yard line. So they flipped the field with a gain of nearly 50 yards.
Well, Gus Bradley, the defensive coordinator, applies pressure, and it's a throwback screen. Watch Steven Jackson leak out of the backfield, and against this blitz, nobody covers Steven Jackson. Number 34, you saw the blitzing cornerback Roy Lewis should have peeled off and covered Jackson. But sometimes these veteran running backs make it look like they're blocking, and these defenders blitz. Excellent job by Steven Jackson.
Jackson had a 49-yard reception last year against Seattle. This one was 50. Rams to the red zone. Bradford fires end zone.
Oh, what a play.
Flag. Richard Sherman. I think they're going to get it for the right hand on Lloyd as he deflected with the left.
This is what
Pass interference, number 25, defense in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line.
Boy, we've been talking about
Automatic
length.
first down.
Length all night long. Here you see Richard Sherman. He just bites a little bit on the out move, comes back to the inside. Probably did wrap his arm around his shoulder. You see it right here. That's going to be called every single time. But what a play by Sherman. You can see the length of his arms, tip that ball away.
Direct snap to Steven Jackson here out of the Wildcat. He'll take it, he'll run it, and he is smashed in the mouth. No gain.
There's Fred Bryant, number 79. This young man is 6'4". I think he's 335 pounds.
Here you see Jackson in the Wildcat. Oh, Adam Goldberg was the one that hit his own player.
That's not a good sign.
No, that's not good at all. There's your guy, John.
Going to get another player in. That's a tackle eligible.
Better hurry up.
Yeah, tackle eligible reports on the end of the line. It's 2nd and goal. Bradford throws it to no one. He's in the pocket. There's a flag down back at the quarterback. I don't know if that's for grounding or for the hit on Bradford.
Intentional grounding.
Yeah.
Number 8 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Loss of down. Third down.
I'm not sure if Sam Bradford was going to try to run a bootleg on his own with a run play called. You'll see Bradford right here because there's no receiver that's coming out. Everyone is blocking for the run. I think Bradford just decided on his own that he was going to keep the ball and bootleg it out, but the Seahawks were ready for it. He felt the pressure, threw the ball away. That one's on Bradford.
3rd and goal, getting loud down here.
Remember, St. Louis was rejected earlier in this game on 4th and 1. We're finding out how hard it is for St. Louis to make 1 yard.
Timeout Rams. 3rd and goal from the 11 when we come back.
Receptions. Remember, Browner has help to the inside here. I think the Rams were hoping for one-on-one coverage. That time they didn't get it.
Bradford's missed 8 of his last 9. That was a smart decision by him. Not to throw it into coverage. 29-yard field goal attempt. Josh Brown. Gone 7 quarters without scoring an offensive touchdown, but they're within a touchdown with 1:49 to go in the 3rd. Of course, this Rams franchise started the 90s in Los Angeles. Mid-90s moved to St. Louis during those days with Jim Everett, Jerome Bettis in L.A., and then the move to St. Louis. Tony Banks was the quarterback for a lot of those 99 losses. Very poor team. And the greatest show on turf.
There we
Neal,
go.
Martz, Warner, Falk. Incredible ball. They won 2 out of every 3, twice to the big game. Once they won the Super Bowl, that great Super Bowl finish against Tennessee, but then the post era as Martz left 5 games into that 05 season and on through 29-79. The win percentage, 27% of their games, no playoff appearances. If they lose out this year, they'll go through a 5-year stretch of 15-65, which would be the worst 5-year stretch for any team going back to the late 30s and early 40s. That's how bad this era of Rams football is.
My old coach, Dick Vermeer, who coached his team to a Super Bowl victory in St. Louis, must be going, what happened?
Leon Washington. Sideline, Leon Washington. Pushed down at midfield. Chris Smith hit him after 54 yards of return.
Leon's been awful quiet this year, the ex-New York Jet. He exploded here last year with some big returns. Here he's going to take it right up the numbers and bounce it to the outside. You see number 3, Josh Brown, miss a tackle. Leon Washington is still a great weapon to have in your clubhouse. Punt returner, kick returner, situation halfback. Good player.
He can flip the field real quick for you.
7 in his career. It's an NFL record. He had 2 different seasons with 3 kickoff returns to touchdown in 07 and 10.
Start. Number 24 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Can't even get the first down snap off without a flag.
Well, I get upset with pre-snap penalties. I always did. Yeah. Yell at somebody. I yell at you.
Yelling at me all night, dude.
Getting stepped on, missing handoffs, first down, pre-snap penalties. With this field position in a 13-6 game, you don't want to let these Rams hang around. They've got enough good players to get you.
First and 15, Tavares Jackson throwing the back shoulder for Golden Tate, who never turned back. Here's Trey Wingo, SportsCenter right now.
Michael, thank you. Rough Monday for a couple of coaches. Todd Haley out in Kansas City, replaced by Romeo Crennel the rest of the season. Meanwhile, Tony Sparano out in Miami. Todd Bowles will be the interim there. And that proposed trade between the Clippers and the Hornets for point guard Chris Paul that supposedly collapsed is still a possibility, according to ESPN sources. Remember, he was ruled out of going to the Lakers by Commissioner Stern last week. Mike, back to you.
I'm trying to prepare for the Lakers and Bulls on Christmas Day. I just want the commissioner to decide who's on the roster so we can get ready.
Yeah, let us know, Mike.
Second and 15, Jackson flushed, making it up as he goes along. Gain of 4 to Lynch. Shy of midfield. Jim Laurinaitis coming across to make the tackle.
Back on the field comes Chris Long, number 91, to rush the passer in this long yardage situation. You got to credit this young man. 2 and 10. Comes in here tonight with a bad wheel, hasn't been able to practice. There's a lot of good stuff in the tank of Chris Long and some of these St. Louis Rams, particularly on defense. They have hung in there all night long, and they're not giving Seattle anything but a hard time.
Haven't been a whole lot of blitzes from the Rams tonight. This might be the time.
5 come. Jackson throws middle. Got Baldwin, who's back in the game. With a first down out of bounds at the 29. Stumbles to a stop. Gain of 22, John.
You know, you go to training camp every year and there's a rookie, an obscure rookie that wasn't drafted, that gets it done. How about that release? He squares him up, crosses the field, catches the ball, gets the first down. He might be the MVP of the Seattle Seahawks next to Marshawn Lynch. This young man's come in here and make play after play, and a lot of them on third down, Ron, where it gets sticky.
And how about the throw from Tavares Jackson? Pressed up in the pocket, avoided the rush, threw a strike to Baldwin.
Justin King, the other cornerback, is out for the Rams with cramps right now, so the Rams are down both starting corners. What else is new this year? Jackson with time. Got a man, it's Baldwin to the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Seattle. And a terrific rookie, Doug Baldwin.
Well, that's great play calling. Darrell Bevel knew the Rams were depleted in the secondary. You're aware of all the personnel changes, so you attack it. You don't let them get settled. You come with the crossing routes. You'll see it right here. Off the play action from Tavares. Look at Baldwin go to the inside, comes back out, wide open, breakdown in coverage. When you go through the number of people that the Rams are playing in the secondary, mistakes will be made. You see one made there.
Came into the game leading this team in receptions and receiving yards as an undrafted rookie. House for the extra point. 20-6 Seattle. The Rams pulling everything they possibly can into getting a field goal. And the Seahawks walk down the field and Baldwin makes them pay. Don't forget the nice 54-yard kickoff return by Leon Washington to get him in place for 22 and 29-yard Doug Baldwin receptions. 4 touchdowns. He's leading this team in receptions and receiving yards again tonight. Mentioned he's doing that on the year. Right up there with some of the other rookies who've had outstanding seasons. And, you know, to lead your team in receptions and receiving yards as a rookie, undrafted rookie. Hasn't happened in over 50 years in the NFL for a team. So Doug Baldwin with a great impact on this Seattle season.
And Mikey runs in that slot. That's a tough place to play.
Slight guy at 5'10". Another one of those smart Stanford Cardinals. There's Norwood to return to the 20. As a school, they're the Cardinal, but if you play for them, or you're the Cardinals, right? Stanford Cardinals, you're a member of it. Possessive. We'll sort it out here during the break.
Yeah, let's go to break.
Well, part of the Rams' struggles over these last few years, offense hasn't scored 14.5 points per game since 2007. Not just the fewest in the NFL, but just more than 2.5 points away from the next worst. Cleveland has averaged just around 17 points a game in that same time. Sam Bradford hoping to change it here in the fourth quarter. To Brandon Lloyd, gain a 9.
It's been hard for the Rams to make that key yard when they need 1 yard. Here's a 4th and 1 in the first half in good field position. Poor protection. Nobody's open. Ball turns over. Then it's 1st and 1 yard at the 1 yard line. Jackson gets rocked by his own man. 2nd and 1 yard. You throw a ball where there's no receiver and it's intentional grounding. It looks like the Rams could play a double header sometimes and not score.
Second and 1, Steven Jackson through the hole for the first down. David Hawthorne helping make the tackle with K.J. Wright. When we talk about this 2011 season where the Rams have been unable to get healthy bodies consistently on the field and score points. Talk about the fewest points in Rams history, a franchise that's been to L.A. and Cleveland. 09 was bad. This is just as bad. Jackson Wright, 16th run of the night. Maybe a loss of a couple of yards as David Hawthorne called on back-to-back plays.
You go back, excuse me, John, to Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator. Here's one of the young, bright minds in all of football. I remember when I was calling plays, we had great offenses. You felt good calling plays. Then there were times where you're just calling plays to try to get a first down. And in some games, you're calling plays to not turn the ball over to give your defense a chance to win. But this offense for the Rams is a patchwork group. They are decimated with injuries.
2nd and 11 pass is caught by Austin Pettis. Brought down by Brandon Browner. And the first catch of the night for the rookie out of Boise State. They took him in the 3rd round.
Well, this becomes a big 3rd down now for the Rams. They need to sustain some offense. You'll see the real nice throw. Pettis caught the back of the ball there. That ball had a little zip on it from Sam Bradford. They need to get this 3rd down. They need to have their defense rest a little bit. They need to get back in this ball game. Make it a 1-score game.
Bradford throwing sideline for Lloyd, and the big corners, big impact again, Brandon Browner.
And you stand up here, you know they're going to throw the ball to Lloyd, and they're going to attack Browner, and Browner's been there all night. Excellent job with his offhand jam. He's just got too much size, and normally Lloyd goes up and gets it, but just a great job of poking the ball out in the blind spot. Number 39, Brandon Browner. I'd like to coach a corner like that.
He's 27 years old, his first year in the league after his time in the Canadian Football League with Calgary. Donnie Jones kicking it away. 45 yards, fair catch, Leon Washington. Seahawk ball, Seahawk 14-point lead. Brought to you by DirecTV. The sun was out today. You can see the Olympic Mountain Range in the distance across the Puget Sound. Breathtaking sights in this area. Up 14, here's Seattle with a Marshawn Lynch run for 2.
You know, they talk about all these big corners here, Jaws.
Yep.
They say, well, they have great length. Let me show you this length of this guy's arm, Brandon Browner. Watch this left-handed. He called it the offhand jam. Look at that extension. He disrupts the timing of the route. Then it's his left hand. He pokes the ball out of there. These long arm corners. This is 6'4" playing corner. That's Mel Blount size. I don't know many corners that play in the league or have played pro football at 6'4".
Lynch left. Stays in bounds and gets his first down. Nice run.
How can you not love that run? He could have danced out of the sideline, out of bounds, turned that shoulder up, kept in bounds, picked up the first down. This is what Marshawn Lynch brings, some toughness. A lot of backs go right to the side. Stick your foot in the ground, see where you got to go for the first down and pick it up. He is one runner with unbelievable tenacity.
They get you some Skittles.
Yeah, give me some Skittles, man. The whole case.
They are getting more free time out of Marshawn Lynch than you can imagine. It's a sports business dream for the Skittles folks. Jackson with his tight end. Anthony McCoy takes it close to midfield. A gain of 23 for McCoy, the second-year player out of USC.
Yeah, these are the kind of throws you want to see Tavares Jackson make. This is a difficult throw down the seam. McCoy does a good job with the release, and Jackson throws him open. Good touch on this throw. We're talking about the improvement in Tavares Jackson. Show us something. That's the kind of throw you have to make on a consistent basis to be successful in this league.
Lynch left through a tackle. It's near the 45. You guys, go back to Jackson here for a second. Let's just think about this. Seattle brings him in for 2 years, $8 million. So in quarterback terms, that is very affordable. And maybe they were hoping to strike lightning in a bottle. Maybe they got him after his 5 years in Minnesota with Favre being around. He could never fully develop. If he really hits it, great. If not, you're financially free to make a quarterback move in this draft class, which is full of draft prospects.
Yeah, and Pete Carroll told us, it was the right move to make in the present lockout situation. System familiarity was critical, and Darrell Bevell was here.
Baldwin the catch for 10 up the sideline.
I like Tavares Jackson. I like the fact that he's mentally tough. He's been through a lot. A lot of people thought he wasn't good enough in Minnesota. He's come here. He's not the young kid that he was in Minnesota. He's one of the older Seattle Seahawks players. They thrust him into a leadership role. He was voted a team captain. He's athletic, and he's proven that he's a very tough guy playing through a difficult injury. I like him.
Lynch threw earlier. Throws again from Michael Robinson. Terrific play coming over by Darian Stewart, the safety, to knock it away.
When was the last time you saw two halfback passes in the same game? Do you have a stat on that, John?
Look at Pete Carroll. Knew he was trying to sneak one by there on the same play to Robinson.
I thought he had this one, but a nice job by Stewart coming over the top, knocking it away at the last second. But you talk about aggressive offense, the Seahawks are doing right here. They're trying to put some points on the board.
See those numbers. Lynch threw an 8-yard touchdown pass in his rookie season 5 years ago in Buffalo. And he has 2 misses here tonight. Tight end Zach Miller came over from the Raiders. Submarine down shy of the 30. As we take it under 9 minutes here. Back to Jackson, guys, because here's the question for Seattle now. You've built a good defensive team, some young guys. You've got Lynch and a solid run game. Your 3 offensive linemen out tonight. You've set up a situation where if you want to bring in a young quarterback and still have Tavares Jackson play for a year, it's really in great position if you're high enough in the draft to get one of the good young quarterbacks.
Well, the good thing is you don't have to make any moves. I think that's the most positive. Jacks can hold down the fort for someday. You may want to take a guy early in the first round.
From the 30, pass deflected by Robert Quinn as he came over to make the play as they try to throw it back to Justin Forsett. The guy making those decisions is John Schneider, one of the youngest GMs in the NFL at 40 in his second year on the job.
I like what he's done. A lot of people say, hey, we're going to build through the draft. We're going to build through the draft. And I ask, well, what are you building? Are you building a mansion, or are you building a 1-bedroom apartment like I live in? This young man, John Schneider, has done it with the draft, with free agency, traded for Marshawn Lynch, brought in Clemens, has done an excellent job developing his young roster. I'm very impressed.
Hauschka from 48. He's now 3 of 4 on the night. Missed from 38 earlier. Seattle leads by 17, and you don't live in a one-bedroom condo.
I've been to his house. It's big.
Yes, I do.
Dallas, and then Hubie Brown and I will be in Los Angeles to see Kobe and the Lakers take on Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls. Then 2 more games on Christmas night on ESPN, Orlando, Oklahoma City. And the Clippers taking on our buddy Mark Jackson in his debut with Golden State. So we look forward to the start of the NBA on ESPN and ABC Christmas Day and night. Seattle up 17. Rams offense hasn't scored a touchdown in about 3 weeks. Norwood down 24-yard line. I'm going to ask about the Rams offense going forward. In 2012 Rams offense was the rookie of the year, and the offense in 2010 has taken a beating this season and tonight. Their night on the national stage in 66,557. The 12th man in Seattle continues to make noise. Their team up 17, and there goes a good first down run from Cadillac Williams to the 37-yard line. Sam Bradford is the offensive rookie of the year in 2010, won the Heisman at Oklahoma, first overall pick. This year has been very disappointing. His starting record will fall to 1-9. The ankle injury coming into tonight, missed a couple of games with the ankle injury earlier this year. The question is what happens next year. If there's a regime change and a coaching change, it would be a new system for Sam Bradford. This Rams team is the carry with Cadillac goes to the 42. This Rams team, it could be picking early. The Colts are likely to have the #1 pick. They're going to be 2 teams at 2 wins and 11 losses, Minnesota and the Rams. St. Louis could be having the #2 pick again for the 4th time in 5 years. 1 or 2.
Mike, you stay with Sam Bradford. You just said he was the rookie of the year a year ago. How can you evaluate this guy and what he's playing with this season? You can see he's tough. He's playing hurt. He has no players around him to show what he can do. I know there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out, but this is the quarterback that you have to stay with and give him an opportunity when he's got all his weapons.
Brandon Lloyd slipped. He slipped because he was pushed, and the flag is down. That'll extend it for the Rams close to midfield.
Illegal contact, number 25 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I don't know why you get so upset, Ron. I mean, here's what I'd do if I came to St. Louis. I would want to meet Sam, study him for myself. And then I'm going to look at the availability, as always, who's coming out. Because I know the kid at Stanford, Andrew Luck. And there's a young man over at Baylor. His name is RG3. So before you start spitting out all these profound statements,
a lot of guys
you better see who's available. Because if RG3 is what I think he is, I might do cartwheels all the way to Waco to coach him. And I mean it. Yeah. That guy's special. And Andrew Luck,
this guy.
Okay,
put some
great.
talent around him.
That's why there's 31 flavors of ice cream.
Right. And 32 teams in the NFL. 1st and 10 for Bradford. Receiver breaks open. Lloyd catching it at the 15-yard line. Good job by Brandon Lloyd, who's been very active tonight.
It's a great job right there, competing by the Rams. Hurry up offense. They need to get something on the board quickly. Another double move. That's about the 6th different double move Brandon Lloyd has showed Brandon Browner tonight. There's a lot of Brandons in this game.
Yeah, wait till Brandon Lloyd spend some time with Sam Bradford. I think you're going to see an electric combination.
82 yards tonight for the guy who led the NFL in receiving yards in Josh McDaniels' Denver offense last year. And a run inside the 10 for Cadillac. And the Rams trying to get an offensive touchdown for the first time in 2 weeks. It's a very varied decision, a lot of layers to it. One, will Steve Spagnuolo still be the head coach? Will Billy Devaney, who's run the operation here, still be making the decisions? And then from there, how do you want to go forward with your team? Because you're going to have a high pick. At worst, you got great trade value if you want to bring in multiple players through the draft. 2nd and 3. Bradford incomplete for Alexander Flag.
Brandon Browner once again in tight man-to-man coverage.
Pass interference, number 39 defense in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 1. First down.
Take a look at it. It's going to be Denario Alexander. Late, you're going to see him slide back to his right. Boy,
Didn't see much there, but
you know what? I really think that these two young corners have been targeted by every team in the league so many times, and the officials are not giving either one of them a break. I don't like that call.
First and goal. Last time they did a direct snap to Jackson. This time it's a run with Cadillac, and Williams is stopped shy of the goal line.
Well, Steven Jackson on the sideline, you know, he'd love to be in there. This is when you want that big body frame pounded up in there. Doesn't look happy to be standing on the sideline right now. You kind of wonder, what is he doing there? This is your best back. No disservice to Cadillac Williams, but boy, you got Steven Jackson.
Bradford trying to keep it with an ankle injury. They ripped the ball out of his hands there. Let's see where it is. It's going to be marked down with no forward progress. Jackson now coming in. Cadillac Williams got this series to start like he did in the first half. But down there, first and goal at the 1. Why wouldn't you go with Jackson, who's healthy and back in?
I wish I could answer that. Then when a quarterback sneak with a quarterback who's got an injured left ankle brings up third down.
And coming in from the side, we have a whistle and a timeout taken by the Seahawks. 4:56 to go. St. Louis trying to score. Sports Center, less than 5 minutes of fourth quarter time away. 17-point deficit, 3-score game. Third and goal. Third and goal throw. Bradford back to the end zone for Alexander. Sherman knocks him out, and a flag comes at the back end of the play. Well, after the play with Sherman back there on the end line.
Well, Alexander at 6'5", ball hits the meat of his hands. He's got to come up with that catch.
Dead ball foul coming up here.
Incomplete pass is ruled on the field. After the incomplete pass, taunting, number 25 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
You see with Sherman getting right in the face of Alexander.
No point in that. No point in that at all. You make a good play, get on with the game. Talented young corner.
Have to control your emotions. You'll see it right here. Alexander goes down. Sherman goes right in his face. That's the correct call. And force sportsmanship.
So from the half-yard line, first and goal, shotgun, pass, incomplete.
This is unbelievable.
How many plays have they had the ball to run? 7 tonight? To Steven Jackson, I would just like to say, hey, if he doesn't make it on 2 or 3 successive carries, Brandon Browner all night long.
And they don't have their fullback. Britt Miller is out, injured his knee, warming up for practice earlier this week, but still. And there goes shotgun again with Jackson. Next to Bradford, and Bradford throwing behind Alexander and incomplete.
Well, they ran a little rub in there, and it looked to me like they were both open. You had Pettis on the out. Wasn't there.
You know, I'm watching Steven Jackson, Jaws. He just looked at the sideline and yelling at them. And Steven Jackson has played on a bunch of losing Ram teams as you watch this incompletion. He's kept a great attitude, and we asked him last night. He said it's hard to keep doing it, but this makes it even harder.
Absolutely.
Well, if he doesn't carry the ball right here, we could have an eruption of some kind.
And when he gets it, he's going to run hard. And he gets the touchdown.
Finally, give it to the guy that can give you a yard. What were they thinking over there on that sideline? The clock ticking away. You got to give it to Steven Jackson. Wow.
Browner and Jackson bump into each other, and they exchange words after the score.
This guy at least deserves the opportunity to put it in the end zone, not have him stand on the sideline with the coaching staff screaming and hollering, put him in the game. 23-12,
and by following the chart what to do here. They go for one. They make it a 10 instead of a 9-point game. Touchdown number 60 on the career of Steven Jackson. It's 23-13 with 4:39.
Well, before that score, let me show you how hard this 1 yard was to get. Earlier, rejection at the 1. Then, at the 1 yard line, intentional grounding. That's strike 2. Strike 3, we had a red zone pass on 3rd down. Nobody there. Then on the 1 yard line, Cadillac Williams couldn't get it in. Then at the 1 yard line, a quarterback sneak. Not there. Then on the 1, a bootleg to the right. Incomplete, taunting. Then on the 1, they run a high point fade. Not there. Back at the 1 yard line, it's incomplete.
Hey.
And enter Steven Jackson, Jaws friend. Great job by the Rams getting the score here. Now you got to be alert for the onside kick.
Yep.
It's a 2-possession game. And look out there on that field for the Rams and see if they have any of those high point jumpers. Doesn't look like it.
Although we got some guys on the left side of the formation having a conversation there.
But the Seahawks have their hands team out there. It looks like I see Mike Williams, their big receiver, on one side of the formation. Zach Miller, former Pro Bowl tight end, down here at the bottom of the screen, number 86. And this is a surefire onside kick.
And 12% is the success ratio for the kickers in these types of situations. Anticipated onside kick. They fake it to the left, come back to the right for the catch, for the attempt to catch it by the kicker.
And it was 1 yard short.
Yep, came up a yard short and stopped. It squirted back out there, but it was real dead. And after it didn't go 10 yards, and the Seahawks got their hands on it.
Great design by the Rams. They faked it to the left. They came back with the middle dribble, and the ball just didn't go far enough. It's been the story of the night for the Rams. 1 yard.
Illegal touch of the kick by the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. First down, Seattle.
So Seattle will take over the Rams 44 with 4:39 to go, and Steve Spagnuolo is thinking of challenging this here. Josh Brown was coming over and telling him.
He did challenge. The challenge flag is out.
Trying to say that Seattle touched it first is what Brown believes. That'll require another inspection.
St. Louis is challenging the ruling on the field that the kicking team touched the ball first.
As you know, kickers touch it before it gets to the 10-yard mark. Then anybody can recover it. Take a look and replay our first challenge of the night. So the replay rule has been in business with the challenge system for 13 years. And for the first time since the challenge rule has been in, the number of successfully overturned challenges is winning out. Although we don't think this one's going to be overturned. Josh Brown's the kicker. He's right. He didn't touch it before it went 10 yards. The first person to touch it is Quentin Michael of the Rams, just before Leroy Hill of the Seahawks comes in. So if what we're seeing is accurate, believe he's going to say Seattle ball. And here he is.
After reviewing the play, the kicker touched the ball at the 42-yard line. It's Seattle's ball at the 42. St. Louis will be charged. Their second timeout.
I wonder what replay he was looking at.
Yeah. Did you see the kicker touch it?
No.
Okay.
No, it was Quentin Michael.
Yeah, I feel better.
All right. We all feel better.
It's what you call a 4-minute offense. You tell your back, stay in bounds. You saw what happened against Chicago yesterday against Denver. Stay in bounds at all costs and protect the football. You have to expect blitz from this Ram football team. Protect the ball, stay in bounds.
I thought you were trying to talk about Tim Tebow somehow, some way there.
Yeah, I knew that because he's setting it up, Mike.
Yeah. Here goes Lynch to the left of Marshawn. Got another first down.
He didn't listen to John either.
As Lynch is closing in on 100 yards here tonight. The Rams are closing in not just on the 11th loss this year, but the 58th loss when they've been down by 7 or more in the fourth quarter.
Well, since you brought it up, Ron, let me tell you how interesting that stat is. You lose 58 straight games when you're trailing by 7 points. or more in the fourth quarter. That's what makes Tim Tebow unbelievable. 7 straight games he's brought his team back when they've been trailing in the fourth quarter. What do you have to say about that, Josh? Yesterday, let me show you what he did.
That was great
It's
play
the
by
Chicago
Tim Tebow.
Bears. The Bears got him. Tebow brings him back to tie it. Who is Prater? 59 yards, 52 yards. There it is. Fumbling the football, opportunistic defense. Tim Tebow, 7 straight weeks, has brought the Denver Broncos back to win.
He's really brought him back in the fourth quarter 4 consecutive weeks. He is 7-1. He's 7 straight wins. I know what you're saying.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good show.
Quit ruining my rap, Mike. You always have to be so officially on top of these stats. It's a heck of an accomplishment.
It's
by the
phenomenal
Bronco football team.
Phenomenal what he's done.
You even screwed me up. He has 6 straight wins. He's 7-1 as a starter, and it really is. You know, it was an interesting discussion because at first I heard people talking about. I think Mike and Mike this morning. He said, "Wait a minute." He said, "What's the bigger story in the NFL this year, Tebow or the Packers?" I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. The Packers are undefeated. I still believe that's the bigger story this year, but what Tebow has done to just get everyone's attention." They should just stagger the start of the Tebow games 15 minutes later so that all the audience can be sent to that game. We can watch the fourth quarter.
Just watch the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. It's been phenomenal. Been phenomenal what he's done. Never seen anything like this in the years I've been around the NFL, and that's quite a few.
Doug Baldwin's had a really good night. At 3rd and 7, he stays in bounds, gets a first down as Baldwin pushes closer to a 100-yard receiving night, getting 12 there.
Tried to say that at the top of the show. You're going to see a lot of young emerging Seattle Seahawks football players. Excellent job knowing exactly where the first down marker is. I can't say enough about this young receiver, number 15, Doug Baldwin.
Why do you think he's doing so well early, John?
I go back to the Stanford Cardinal where he played. You know, you watch a lot of these college offenses now. You see bubble screens and spread option football. Not at Stanford. You see a pro-style game. There goes Marshawn Lynch. These Skittles, I got to find out what's in these things. Well blocked play.
Your fans throwing bags of the candy on the field as Lynch scores.
Just a matter of time before the dike breaks. I mean, he is hitting it all night, throwing jabs, and he just wears defenses down. Great job of blocking the play by this offensive line. I just get the feeling people get tired of squaring up to Marshawn Lynch. This is one powerful back. Compare him to whoever you want, but go get some Skittles if you're a young back and see what they do for you.
Over the last 5 weeks, he's been the best running back in the NFL with 591 yards coming into this game, and he's added to it tonight.
The Skittles that we talk about being thrown on the field. I don't know if that's really the wisest thing I've ever seen, but Lynch scores a touchdown, and Steven Alexander's mark is joined 9 consecutive games with a touchdown going back to 2005 when Sean Alexander, I should say, had that great run. And another 100-yard night for Lynch. That's 5 of the last 6 weeks.
And 54 yards have come after contact. That gives you an idea of how he's ripping through tacklers.
You know, a lot of people forget that name, Sean Alexander. The great offenses that Mike Holmgren had here with the Seahawks. Everybody thinks it's West Coast passing, Mike Holmgren, but they had a balanced team with Sean Alexander. And look at this.
Those Skittles.
Marshawn Lynch, he brings the same dimension that Sean Alexander brought, only he's a bigger, more physical back. But look at the balance that this offense has tonight. Quietly, Tavares Jackson has 225 yards in the air. Marshawn Lynch has 115 yards on the ground. That is Pete Carroll football. He wants to be balanced. He wants to be a vicious running team, sound on defense, win the turnover ratio. And Seattle's won 4 out of 5 games. Hard to do in pro football.
This whole Skittles thing is very bizarre. Yeah. I remember college games when teams would get close to the Fiesta Bowl and they'd start throwing Tostitos on the field. That's the only food I remember being thrown on the field during a game.
Thank goodness for that, like almond joys or peanut chews or something. He'd get hurt.
Jarius Norwood bumped out of bounds at the 22. We remind you that the GMC postgame report coming up on SportsCenter as soon as we're done here tonight. Just to go back, this kid from Oakland, Marshawn Lynch, who went to the Bills, had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons, got suspended in 2009, then eventually was traded here to Seattle. John Schneider and Pete Carroll wanted to get Lynch in the fold here, and Pete told us he must have called 8-9 straight weeks to finally get him out of Buffalo as Lynch tosses that football to the fans. He has certainly become wildly popular here in Seattle. 2:45 left. John, you mentioned Sean Alexander and those unbelievable 14 touchdown and 16 touchdown years. Then he had the 27-yard rushing touchdown amazing season of 2005. And then he got paid. He was old. He had a lot of carries on him. And there's a little concern by Seahawks fans because Lynch is at the free agency point now. They know what happened when Alexander got paid.
You got to pay your best players.
Pass incomplete.
I was here one night, Mike, coaching with the Raiders, and Sean Alexander ran for almost 300 yards in the rain. Very forgettable night for me, Ron.
Yeah, I would think so.
But when you have a back, I think, like Marshawn Lynch, you really have to take a lot of things into consideration. The amount of punishment, not only that he takes, but the amount of punishment that he delivers, and the longevity of backs like that. But if anybody deserves a significant pay raise, it's Marshawn Lynch.
Alexander was 29 at that time. Lynch is 25 right now. Bradford still in there, still throwing. That one's caught by Brandon Gibson on the sideline as we hit the 2-minute warning here in Seattle. And for those of you who are fantasy football fans, there's a big score for you. Marshawn Lynch over 100 yards into the end zone. Seattle's on their way to a win. GMC postgame coming up next on SportsCenter. Recap here from Seattle. Thanks to our great crew, producer Jay Rothman, director Chip Dean, our entire crew, not just in the trucks, but everybody on this cool night here in this beautiful city, bringing you the pictures. And we look forward to better football with Pittsburgh and San Francisco next Monday night.
I'll second that. Hey, Ben, get healthy.
Fans deserve some good games on Monday night.
Yes,
we have a 4th down and 3 coming up here for the Rams. Bradford throws complete to Denario Alexander. He got the first down at the 41-yard line. Sam Bradford with the ankle injury, showing what it meant to him to come easily without practicing during the week. Could have been in the mode where I'm not going to play here tonight. Try it again next week. But he has played, gone the distance. Steven Jackson out of the backfield, across midfield into Seahawk territory at the 45.
You know, and Mike, Sam Bradford playing tonight will play well in the locker room. You know, this team is done. They're 2-10. They're going nowhere. But he showed his teammates that he's there for them. And that means an awful lot to the guys when they go in that locker room. The quarterback is sucking it up and puffing it out.
Chase and sack as Anthony Hargrove brings him down. And a timeout taken by St. Louis. 3rd sack of the year for Hargrove. He used to play with the Saints and the Bills. So ESPN News projecting a Seahawk win here tonight. They'll move them up to 6-7. They are on the very edge of the playoff hunt. You know, you watch every game at this point, it means something across the country. The Giants win because the Seahawks have a head-to-head win over the Giants. The Falcons coming back against Carolina. The Lions holding off Joe Webb in the comeback by Minnesota. If all those teams would have lost, it would have been better for Seattle. Seattle plays Chicago here this week. So they could essentially, if they go to Chicago and win, get to 7-7, have the head-to-head, and be past the Bears. So are they out of it? No. Stranger things have happened, but not many.
You see that beast mode sign? Who is that?
No gain, Jackson.
That's what number 91 Clemens does. He can rush the passer. He can chase you down. He plays the Leo, L-E-O position in Pete Carroll's defense. And he is a very athletic player. They got a steal in that trade, Jaws. Chris Clemens.
This running the clock out here on the Rams as Cadillac Williams carries, and that should, let's see, they're going to keep running plays here if they're going to be running the ball. It's 4th down.
Get out of here. Don't get anybody hurt.
20 seconds left. They're running again, 4th and 16. And they will do it on the ground with Cadillac. Gets to the 41. It'll go over to Seattle on downs with 9 seconds left. And as soon as you say that, Jaws, Leroy Hill of the Seahawks shaken up on the play and slow to get up. Still 9 seconds left. It's Seahawk ball on downs. 2-11 go to the Rams. Steve Spagnuolo is a good defensive coach. It's been a tough second year as a head coach. Their 3 games will close third year. Beg your pardon. They'll close with Cincinnati at home on Sunday. Then they go to Pittsburgh and play San Francisco. So 3 playoff caliber teams to close.
Well, your instincts tell you there'll be a lot of changes in St. Louis after this season.
These fans are still here screaming. I love coming here to play football.
I do. It's a great place, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a long trip, though, isn't it, John?
Santa Claus lives 86 miles from here.
It's not.
I'm telling you,
We're close to Alaska out here.
It's a long way from home.
You guys are unbelievable. We're just 113 miles south of Canada. And a great city in Seattle, good home fans. And they've seen their Seahawks win 4 of the last 5 to improve to 6-7. The Rams are 2-11. Rod Jaworski, John Gruden, Rachel Nichols on the sideline. Our great Monday Night Football team. Mike Black, Marty Aronoff, spotting and doing the stats up here in the booth. Mike Tirico with a good night to all of you from the great Northwest. Thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Sports Center next, and we look forward to seeing the 49ers, the Steelers, and you next Monday night.